Okay, so you know how sometimes you're looking at those recommended for you sections? And it's like, what is going on here? Why is Spotify suggesting heavy metal after I just listened to like a relaxing piano playlist?
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
It's so frustrating sometimes. It feels like these systems just don't get us at all.
Yeah, it's a pretty common experience, actually.
Is it like a fundamental flaw or something?
Well, traditional recommender systems,
Mhm.
the technology behind those suggestions, yeah, they often rely on like limited data and they struggle to understand the nuances of our, individual
So
preferences.
it's not just me being picky.
No, not at all. I mean, think about it. They're trying to predict what you'll enjoy based on sometimes pretty basic information.
That makes sense, I guess,
Yeah.
but it's still annoying.
Definitely. And that's where this research paper we're looking at comes in.
Okay, lay it on me.
So it's all about using something called LLM-powered agents.
LLM-powered agents?
Yeah, and it's basically a smarter, more intuitive way to get recommendations.
Okay, but what exactly are these LLM things?
Right. So LLMs, or large language models, they're the brains behind things like ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
They can process information and understand language in a way that's like way closer to how humans think than traditional systems.
So instead of just looking at like what I clicked on last or whatever, these agents could actually understand what I'm looking for even if I can't really explain it myself.
Exactly. That's the idea.
That would be amazing. No more bad recommendations.
Well, the goal is to minimize them at least.
I'll take it.
Imagine telling your music app, I want something new, but with the same vibe as this artist, and it actually gets it.
Oh, wow.
That's the power of LLMs. They can understand these like complex requests and offer recommendations that feel truly personalized.
Okay, that is a huge step up from just seeing like a list of generic suggestions.
It's more like having a conversation with a knowledgeable friend who actually knows your taste.
I like the sound of that. But how do these LLM-powered agents actually work their magic?
Yeah, so the paper breaks down three main ways these agents can be used in recommender systems. The first is called recommender-oriented.
Recommender-oriented.
Yeah, and here the agent acts like a super-powered version of the traditional systems we're used to.
So it still uses data like my past purchases or browsing history, but it does something more with it.
Exactly. Instead of just matching keywords, it can reason and strategize, considering multiple factors to create a more tailored experience.
Okay.
Imagine you're browsing for a new laptop, right?
Okay.
A recommender-oriented agent could consider not just your budget, but also your specific needs, like whether you're a gamer or a writer or a student, and then recommend the perfect model for you.
Oh, wow. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
It's about understanding the why behind your actions, not just the what.
Okay, cool. What about the second approach?
All right, so the second type is called interaction-oriented, and it focuses on creating a back-and-forth dialogue between the user and the system.
So instead of just passively accepting recommendations, I could actually interact with the app and tell it what I'm looking for.
Precisely. Imagine asking your movie streaming app for something similar to a film you just watched.
Okay, yeah.
And it responds with specific suggestions explaining why it thinks you'd enjoy them.
It's like having a film buff friend guiding you through the vast world of movies.
Exactly. It makes the whole experience more engaging and interactive.
That sounds way better than just endlessly scrolling through categories hoping to find something good.
It takes the guesswork out of it.
So what's the third way these agents can be used?
The third type is simulation-oriented, and it's all about creating a virtual testing ground for recommender systems.
So like a digital dress rehearsal before they release it to the public?
Exactly. LLMs can be used to simulate how real users might interact with the system,
Oh, interesting.
allowing developers to fine-tune the recommendations and make sure they're accurate and effective before anyone actually uses it.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
It's like having a built-in focus group.
Yeah, it helps ensure a smoother user experience from the get-go.
These different approaches, though, they all rely on like a specific agent architecture, right?
The paper explains that these LLM-powered agents have 4 core modules that work together to deliver those personalized recommendations.
Okay, so let's break those down. What's the first one?
The first module is called profile construction, and it's all about creating a dynamic representation of you as a user.
So it's not just a static profile based on one purchase I made 6 months ago.
No, it's constantly evolving, taking into account your past interactions, your preferences, even your current mood,
Okay.
to create a more nuanced picture of who you are and what you want.
So it's like learning and adapting as it goes.
Yeah, exactly. It's designed to be more accurate and personalized over time.
That sounds way more sophisticated than anything I've experienced before. What's the second module then?
The second module is memory management, and it's responsible for, remembering things.
Oh, so it remembers what I've told it in the past, what I've liked and disliked.
Yeah, and it uses that information to refine its recommendations.
Okay, I'm starting to see how these modules work together.
They're all interconnected.
So what's the third one?
The third module is where things get really interesting. It's called strategic planning. And this is where the LLM's reasoning abilities truly shine.
Strategic planning. So it's not just reacting to my requests, it's actually thinking ahead and coming up with a plan.
Precisely, it can develop multi-step plans to satisfy your immediate needs while also considering long-term engagement.
So it might suggest something now, knowing that it'll likely lead you down a rabbit hole of similar things later.
Exactly. It's thinking ahead, anticipating your needs, and guiding you towards a more fulfilling experience.
Wow, this is starting to sound less like a simple app and more like a personal assistant who knows me better than I know myself.
It's all about creating a more personalized and intuitive experience.
What's the final module then?
The final module is called Action Execution, and it's the one that actually puts the plan into action.
Okay, so it takes all the information from the previous modules, my profile, my past interactions, the strategic plan, and translates it into concrete recommendations.
Exactly.
And it actually interacts with the app or system to deliver those personalized results.
It's the one pulling the levers, so to speak, making sure those tailored recommendations actually reach you.
This is all incredibly fascinating, but I have to ask, how do they even train these LLM-powered agents? Where does all the data come from?
That's a great question, and it's something the paper delves into in detail.
Okay, let's dive into that then.
Researchers use massive data sets from all sorts of places, like Amazon reviews to movie ratings to train these agents.
Oh, wow. So it's like a ton of data.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
They feed all of this into the LLMs, and it allows them to learn the patterns and nuances of, human behavior.
So it's like teaching a computer to understand what makes us tick.
In a way, yeah.
But how do they even know if these systems actually work? I mean, how do you evaluate something like that?
That's a really important question, and the paper talks about a few key metrics that researchers use, like accuracy is obviously important.
Yeah, Myers.
But they're also looking at things like conversational efficiency.
Conversational efficiency. What's that?
It's basically how smoothly the interaction flows. Does the agent respond quickly and in a way that feels natural? Does the conversation lead to satisfying outcomes? It's all about the user experience.
So it's not just about getting the right recommendation. It's about how you get there.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to feel good too,
Yeah, that makes sense. It should be enjoyable to use.
And then there's user engagement too. Are people actually using the system? Are they finding it helpful? Are they coming back for more?
So it's not just about building a technically impressive system. It's about creating something that people actually want to use.
Right. It has to have real-world value.
It all comes back to that idea of personalization,
Yeah.
right? Creating a system that feels like it was designed just for you.
Absolutely. And one area where this technology could have a huge impact is in online shopping.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Imagine your shopping app acting like your own personal stylist, understanding your style preferences, your budget, even your values, and recommending products based on all of that.
Whoa, that would be amazing. No more scrolling through endless pages of stuff I don't even like.
It would take all the guesswork out of it.
I could just tell the app what I'm looking for and trust it to find the perfect thing.
Exactly. And it could even go beyond suggesting individual items, like imagine planning a whole outfit or redecorating a room with the help of this AI stylist.
Oh, wow, that would be so cool.
It's like having the ultimate personal shopper right there in your pocket.
Always on hand to give you expert advice and help you make the best choices.
Exactly.
But with all this talk about personalization, I can't help but wonder if there's a risk of getting stuck in a filter bubble. Only seeing recommendations that align with our existing preferences.
That's a valid concern for sure, and it's something researchers are definitely thinking about.
So how do we avoid that?
The goal is to strike a balance between personalization and serendipity. Making sure that we're not just seeing more of the same, but also having the chance to discover new things.
So like being introduced to things we might not have found on our own.
Exactly. It's like having an AI friend who knows you well, but also pushes you to try new things, expand your horizons.
I like that. And how are they trying to achieve that balance?
Well, one way is through the development of multimodal agents.
Multimodal agent.
Yeah, it means combining different types of data like text, images, even audio to create a richer understanding of the user.
So instead of just looking at my past purchases, a multimodal agent could also consider images I've saved, videos I've watched.
Exactly, or even conversations you've had with the app.
So it's getting a much more complete picture of who I am and what I like.
Exactly. Imagine an agent that understands your fashion style, not just from your purchase history, but also from photos you've uploaded, outfits you've described.
It's like having a virtual stylist who can see inside your mind.
And it goes beyond fashion. Think about planning a trip.
Okay.
A multimodal agent could consider not just your past travel destinations, but also photos you've saved, articles you've read, conversations you've had about your dream vacation.
Wow, so it could create the perfect itinerary for me.
That's the idea. It's all about making technology work for us in a more personalized and intuitive way.
This is incredible. It feels like we're on the verge of a whole new era of computing.
I think so too. And this research paper really highlights the incredible pace of innovation that's happening right now.
But it's not just about the technology itself, right? It's about the impact it will have on our lives.
Absolutely. We need to be thinking about the social and ethical implications as well.
What are some of the potential downsides we should be aware of?
Well, one area that requires careful consideration is the potential for these systems to reinforce existing biases.
Oh, right, because if the data used to train the LLMs is biased, the recommendations could be biased too.
Exactly. And that could lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
So it's not just about building a technically impressive system, it's also about ensuring that it's used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely. And that requires a collaborative effort from everyone involved, researchers, developers, policymakers, to create guidelines and safeguards.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. It's clear that LLM-powered agents have the potential to revolutionize how we interact with technology. But it's up to us to make sure it's a positive revolution.
I agree completely. It's a responsibility we all share.
So what other groundbreaking research is happening in this field? What else are people working on?
One area I find particularly fascinating is the research into creating agents that can not only understand our explicit requests, but also anticipate our needs.
Anticipate our needs.
Yeah, and offer proactive recommendations.
Proactive recommendations. So it's not just responding to what we ask for. It's actually predicting what we might need or want before we even know it.
Exactly. Imagine a world where your smart home anticipates your needs, adjusting the temperature, lighting, music, all based on your habits and preferences.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's closer than you think, but it also raises some important questions about privacy and control.
Yeah, how do we make sure these systems respect our boundaries and don't become too intrusive?
Those are crucial questions, and they highlight the need for ongoing research and ethical discussions as this technology continues to evolve.
This has been such an insightful conversation. It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with LLMs.
And we are just getting started, and the possibilities are truly endless.
It's exciting and a little bit daunting at the same time.
I think that's a healthy perspective to have. We need to approach this technology with both enthusiasm and caution.
This deep dive has really highlighted the power of LLMs and the exciting possibilities they hold for the future. It feels like we're on the cusp of a new era in computing, where technology adapts to us instead of the other way around.
I couldn't agree more. And as we move forward, it's crucial that we continue to explore the ethical implications of these advancements to ensure they're used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
It's like we're seeing this huge shift in how we even think about technology, you know?
Yeah, it's not just about tools and algorithms anymore.
Right, it's more about like a partnership between humans and machines.
Exactly, and this paper really makes you think about that.
Like the future of AI isn't just happening to us, we're actually shaping it.
Through research development and, thinking carefully about what it all means.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We have to be mindful of the impact it has.
And that brings us to a really important question.
What's that?
How do we make sure these powerful technologies are actually used for good?
Right. How do we prevent them from being used to manipulate people or make existing problems worse?
Or even just erode our privacy. There are so many things to consider.
It's a lot to think about.
Definitely. And it's not just a job for computer scientists either.
True. We need everyone involved, ethicists, sociologists, policymakers.
It's a big challenge, and it needs a collaborative approach.
We need to be having these conversations now before it's too late.
Right, while the technology is still evolving.
So we can shape the future in a positive way.
Exactly. A future where AI is a force for good.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. It's clear that LLM-powered agents have the potential to completely change our lives.
They really do.
But it's our responsibility to make sure that change is for the better.
I think that's a perfect way to put it.
So for everyone listening, if you're interested in learning more about LLM-powered agents, I highly recommend checking out the research paper we discussed today.
It's a great starting point for understanding this fascinating field.
And the more we understand these technologies, the better equipped we'll be to shape their development and make sure they're used in a way that benefits all of us.
It's an exciting time to be involved in AI, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me too. Thanks for joining us today for this deep dive into the world of LLM-powered agents.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring the incredible world of AI.